Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. I hope you're all doing great, and welcome to this new video this Sunday morning on Bitcoin. Wanted to do a full update here, kind of to prepare you for next week in terms of the fundamentals a little bit. I mean, we looked at the fundamentals yesterday. We'll briefly look upon them again this morning, but also the technicals. I mean, so far the weekend has gone as expected, which is in general pretty flat. All right, the volume has dropped down quite significantly as well, down to $14 billion, which is lower than I thought. I mean, overall, usually when the market actually gets into relatively bullish circumstances, it usually doesn't drop down this low. Which I'm not putting any value to that, but make of that what you want. But dropped down to 14 billion, and what we saw today is that we got some leverage coming in, which I'm not too much of a fan of. You can see that right here, so let me quickly refresh this so we actually have fresh data. But no, we already had a lot of leverage coming in on Friday, right? So if you remember that big move we had on Friday, breaking above 68,000, which we have been able to hold so far. So purely technically, I would say Bitcoin is still bullish, and my bias is also still bullish. But if you look at this, right, so if you look at the open interest in combination with the CVD, you can see that we actually, well, it's actually not too bad. I mean, you can see the open interest has jumped up a bit, but it's a good mixture of long and short positions, all right? And that's not the end of the world. So, because I thought initially that it was long positions, and if it was really only long positions on leverage, then we were getting into relatively dangerous terrain, because then all of a sudden there's a possibility for some sort of a strong pullback to liquidate those late longers, I would call them, before going up. Because like I said, my bias ultimately at this point of time is still bullish. It has to be bullish. I mean, we haven't had any bearish breakouts. We haven't really seen any sign of weakness. We still have enough fundamentals to back up the current price surge. If you look at the overall fundamentals, look, it's going to be interesting to see how the stock market opens tomorrow. Most of the stock markets are still bullish. If you look at the Nasdaq, S&P, and Russell 2000. But what I would like to see ultimately is that the dollar strength index, which was quite bearish on Friday, that was also one of the reasons that I think we were able to be this bullish. The dollar strength index pulled back a bit. So what I would like to see is this continuing. All right, if that continues, I would say that's another confirmation of continued bullish momentum. Like I said, that is ultimately what I do expect. So far, if you look at the technicals, we've been able to break above 68,000 with momentum. We got a little bit of a leverage reset right here. As you can see, the open interest dropped back down to the levels we were at last week, Tuesday and Wednesday. So that's fine. Now we have some new leverage coming in. That's not the end of the world. That's just people speculating and traders speculating on the opening this week. Which we'll see, all right? I'll try to keep you updated on that, what happens. But if you take into consideration the political fundamentals, for example, in the US we have right now, in combination with the technicals, I would say the most likely direction is still up. Now, it is still certainly a possibility, and you do need to be prepared for that, that we have some sort of a liquidity grab down. I would say it's a missed opportunity to not have that. So be prepared for that, but ultimately the next target I'm aiming for is this level around 70,000. And from there we'll see again. I personally think it's going to be very hard to break through that, even with the current situation. But it's a possibility, and we can definitely also still get into 71 and 72. But we'll see, and I'll keep you updated on that. When we look at next week in terms of news, there's not much. I mean, Wednesday we have existing home sales that might be interesting, especially for the dollar strength index. Thursday we have the initial jobless claims. That's going to be interesting, and that's about it. So it's a relatively quiet week in terms of economic data, at least from the US, which is the economic data that matters the most. Whatever data there is, I will keep you updated on. And like I said, I mean, be careful. It's going to be very volatile next 24 hours, especially with low volume and thinning order books. Most likely direction in my eyes, like I said, is still up. But volatility before getting that impulse move up, I do think is to be expected. So be prepared for that, and you'll be fine. And altcoins in general are quite correlated. So Bitcoin dominance also still high. Dropped down a little bit, but ultimately still high. So be careful for altcoins as well. But that's what I think you need to know for now. All right, so if you do have any questions, let me know down in the comments. For now, thank you for watching. Take care and bye.